Oh, holy Moses. My name is Eric, aka Holy Moses, and I'm making a game. I'm so tired today. I'm so tired you don't even believe it. Day job stuff. It was last night. I was arguing with people in my head and waking up to those arguments and not getting any sleep, and then starting in with all kinds of conversations around a difficult issue at work, at the day job. But now it's my time to work on my game, to leave all that behind and just chill out a little bit. I might go easy on myself this session. I might just be nice to myself. There's some people around that'll be nice to me. I'm not the only one that can be nice to myself, but night like tonight, I gotta be nice to myself. All right, demo. Let's demo. So yesterday, I did some website updates, which are really kind of dull. And even this thing might be dull to some people as far as demos go. But inside of the songs, when I take them inside of Adobe Audition, there is a little interface where you can put up at the top a marker and you can give some text to that marker. And 2 days ago, I put in all these markers that had lyrics. And there's a certain format to them that lets them link up to other assets that describe various aspects of lines. So I exported all these to a CSV file. I don't need to do it again, but it looks like this. This is what the file looks like. Okay. So it's got the lyric. And there's a little bit of encoding, like if I have two lines that have the first three words the same, then I put a little number next to one to say this is a unique line. It's different than the other one. It's just part of like the linkage system between different assets. Then there's the start of each of the markers. Okay, so all these get exported to a CSV file, and then yesterday I wrote an importer, and I'm kind of proud that I did it in 1 hour. I don't usually do those kind of challenges like that where you try to do something in a certain amount of time, but I wrote this nice little speech timeline thing that parses the CSV file and puts it into some data structures that the game knows what to make of. Okay, it's not a very good demo. I'm sorry, it's kind of underneath the hood stuff. But what does it take me to eventually? What is it a step towards? Just noticing something else. I hate it when these things come back on. I do kind of like those thicker lines. Maybe at some point I should use those thicker lines. I don't know. Okay. Let's go to the death box. Okay. So there's a bunch of lyrics that will play inside of here, and that file is going to set the timing for when each line plays, which will show a subtitle on the bottom, and it'll also key into lip animations, which are a different asset. I'm realizing when I say these things out loud, they don't make a lot of sense. They make the mouth, the giant mouth, eventually show its correct mouth movements at the right time. And also show a corresponding text.
Oh, little nothing, you have strayed.
So, you know what I'm going to do in this session? It just occurred to me this would be a good task to just see if I can get it to go. And it can even work with my broken down brain right now. I will take that parsed timeline and use it to display subtitles. And that'll be good. Now, the reason why I can't use the other subtitle code is because this is a song where the text, the subtitles, corresponds to lyrics in the song. And unlike the other audio files for just spoken dialogue, it can't be chopped up into individual files. It needs to be one WAV file that plays from beginning to end, like monolithically. So I had to come up with a separate way of specifying the timing for the subtitles. The other way is based on the WAV files being chopped up into line-sized files. Okay. I'm also having some empathy with Jonathan Blow and his inscrutable babbling on his stream. He's got like 372 people listening to him, and he just goes like, well, obviously I need to have this value be set to this before it goes into the data heft modular, blah, 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 blah. And he's not talking, as I'm not talking, general computer science terms or general C# or Unity terms. He's talking about things inside of his game, and you would only be able to follow along with him or me if you had like gone on this journey with me of writing all the code and looking at all the different systems and all that. So I kind of know I'm spewing techno babble. It does mean something, but it only means something to me. Maybe somebody listening gets just the basic gist of what I'm saying every once in a while, or maybe they see something else I'm doing in the code and they can get enough of the context. It tends to be, you got to be pretty advanced to be able to come into one of these streams and figure out what the hell I'm doing. So if anybody ever watches one of these things and just has no way of following it, don't feel bad. It'd be unreasonable to expect you to be able to follow this stuff, particularly if you're like a new game developer and you get all stressed out like, should I know this stuff? No, you shouldn't. There's some stuff you should know, but it's probably not the exact stuff I'm talking about. Don't worry, you're fine. So let's go on to the next part of this task. Okay, I've got the parser. It will load from text. Right now, I did have some junky little tester thing down here, but I can't use that. What I really want is for the level controller to load in this file and add them to the time speech events. So let's find the level controller. The level controller is a script that is just for one level, does things just on that level. So here I could say speech timeline load. I kind of feel like doing that before I start the song playing, so let's do that. Okay, we're gonna load the timeline. So that means I gotta pass in some stuff. We'll say file path. File. Let's see, what was it? Path util. That's what I was using. And it's going to be in the new timeline file system path. The scene name will just be the active scene name. And the character will be the ma. Characters the ma. Okay. And then this will be list speech events. Okay, speech events. Okay, then I will need a new method so that instead of doing this speech say, which creates one speech event, I'll have some new method and we'll add these speech events in. Okay, so that's the method I got to write. Oh, I might get into some comfy pants. That's going to help this a lot. I need some comfy pants, maybe a comfy shirt. I don't know. I'll be right back. 2 minutes, I think. Yo. Oh, wow, you're out there.
Yes.
This is much more comfortable. Okay, that immediately makes me feel better. I probably should have just worn this all day. Alright, so I need to add this brand new event. Add events. No, speech. No, I clicked the wrong thing. Speech. There we go. So let's take a look at say, because I'm going to have to do some smaller version of that. In fact, maybe I'll just copy this over. there's no string being returned, so we'll say add events. And just pass in the events. Kind of like that. Yeah, so let's see. Something like that. Oh, but you got to return. So the events that are here, I think the cleanest way to add them in is to assume that any offsets inside of them should be from the current time. So let's say for each speech event, and no, don't use that. That's a reserved word. You do not get to use that. Speech event and events. Is that an issue too? Oh, down below. Yeah. Okay. So to avoid modifying what's passed in, let's create a new speech event. It's going to be speech ID equals speech ID, no, speech event, speech ID, character, just all of these basically. just double check speech event. Is there anything else I'd be missing? Audio source set after audio clip begins point. I can leave that. Alright, I got all the other stuff there. Then I want to say this basically. Although I could just take let's see. Let's add this to what's going to get added to. Speech events add, okay. Let's just do this. Okay. What's the issue? Oh, still defined below. Okay. At the end of this, if not is latest end time set, or latest end time is less than speech events. Is there one for just get the last one? Tail? No. Okay. Just speech events count -1. We'll get the last one, and this should be, oh, come on. I thought I could do a random access on it. Can I not do that? Oh, I think it's a queue or some other data structure besides list. So let's just do this. Let's do now as that, and then we'll do last end time. I'll set this to 0f. Okay. Last end time equals this below. Just to make this a little clearer, let's call it last added end time. No longer need that. I would have already gotten the speech clip above. I don't think I need this. This is done. This is done. And this doesn't count. All right, so take that out. Take that out. Okay, that's done. Let's just go ahead and, well, maybe I'll set the breakpoint not from here, but even sooner in the caller inside of the level controller. Just make sure all this stuff is working. Yeah, this already is going to fail. So this is going to be, it should be, let's do the path like this. I could change this guy to a file name parameter and then just do the combine inside. Okay. And come back over to this new class. Let's do file name. Then it's going to be file name. What? God, maybe I should be one of those Emacs people. Because then you just use the same IDE all your life. All your life. You never stop using Emacs. Doesn't matter how old it gets. You get extra grumpy when anybody talks about their newfangled IDE. Okay. We shall try this. First, let's see. Does this code still work? Nice. Should be like 52 events. Yes, one for each week. Now the new code. That's the irritating thing about the singleton. I have to step in to get it. Okay. Are you still loading? Good. You're not? Cool. So the end time is 10 seconds. Now is 0.4, so it's going to be 10.5 or something like that. Yep. Okay, and the start time, that looks good. Okay, that's just a lot of iteration there. Latest end time. Last added end time. There we go. Is that set? No, it's not set. Okay, so this should all work. Let's just play and watch.
Oh, little nothing, you have strayed. Oh, little nothing, you are afraid that all your pieces fell apart, they fell below. Oh, little nothing, where did they go? We see you here, your sad little face. Come to cry, come to beg for our grace. Can we put you back together? Yes, we can. Can we put you back together? Yes, we can. Can we put you back together? Yes, we can. Will we put you back together? that's the plan. Because we got the knives. We'll fix you, we'll slice you, we'll bite you, we'll grind you, unwind you.
That's good. That's the effect it's supposed to have.
We'll find you, we'll hurt you, we'll hurt you, we'll advise you, we'll surprise you. You know we got you. We'll steal you, we'll feel you, we'll beat you, complete you, we'll bow you, empower you. Because we got back to life. Oh, one way back to life. Just one way back to life. It's what I need the knife. We got the knives. Think hard, little child, before you go someplace wild.
Okay, so there's some bugs in there. A bunch of assertions. What was it? What were they about? I made that song. Yes. We got the knives. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. That's one of the things I'm most sensitive about is the music, because it's not accomplished there. Definitely not. Boom. Okay. No reference exceptions all over the place. Let me fix these, whatever they are. So when the character dies, she ends up here. Not necessarily. I'm sure it's one of those things that could be improved, but I wasn't necessarily going to replace him. Let's see. Clearly they're not hitting you that well. That's all right. Let's see. What is the exception? Okay. So maybe there's some speech events that don't have a speech clip. It's not. It's not a bad thought, to be honest. It's like I'm putting all this work into these other things in this level, and an easy thing to fix is just to make it not be a stupid box, so it's a little more interesting to look at. I think you got a point there, to be honest. That's like 2 hours of work to make a nice layout. Let me add that to the backlog. That I can definitely do. It's like, it would be almost a shame not to fix that up, because it could be just a lot better just with a little bit of work. Okay, let's clear this out. Death box. Okay, okay. Let's see. Make the level layout not so damn boxy. Alright. So now I think about this. Speech event is just a pretty simple thing. I've got code that expects audio clip, speech clip to not be null. So the question is, do I want to add code here to pass over things that are set to null, or do I want to put in a speech clip that's empty? Hey, Davey. Yeah, just added some code that just, it's boring to explain. I'll make you so bored by explaining it, but basically there's some timing events that were parsed from a file, and I'm getting the animation code to make use of it. Yeah, just a few errors to fix. I'm thinking of the best ways to fix them. Seems like the pattern so far has been to populate the speech clip even if I don't have an audio clip for it. Let me double check that. Yeah. Well, I tell you, man, that UI stuff is depressingly time consuming to do it nicely. I totally understand people that want to just grab an asset store thing and call it good. Yeah. Then you look at somebody with like a nice menu that's got like all the little touches and everything. It depresses me how long that stuff can take. And I know Davey's adding a little flair to his. He's not going to be satisfied with a boring little menu. It's going to have like ghost fishes or something like that. You got a video up for it? I mean, I don't even have to ask. I'll just go check real quick. Let's see. It is going to be... Ah! Dang it. I wanted to be distracted for 2 seconds. Anyways, Synthwave Dave. I did watch this one. This was cool. Drop me a link. I'll take a look. This kind of reminds me of like those monsters you fight. They remind me of the scary toys in Toy Story 1. Let's see. Let's get it going. Let's get it going. Oh, yeah. Nice. Oh, that's very cool. So does it appear in game? Like, are you just doing like your game stuff and it pops up in front of you, or like it kind of looks that way? Yeah, he's doing VR stuff. This is why you get upset whenever I do something with the canvas, because it totally makes it impossible for me to move things around in 3 space like this. All right. There has to be this stream somewhere where people just like watch porn together. He is not a fan of canvases. I don't even think he likes canvas tents. I don't think he likes phone canvassers. Okay, let me get back to this. Let me see. What did I do in the other one? I said, I know. Oh, yeah. Anything canvas. Okay, so I could call speech as manager get clip, and let me see what this thing does. I just wrote it. If I don't see any evidence that there's a use of returning an empty speech clip, I think I'll just change the code to accept it as null. Okay, get speech clip or get clip. Yeah, it's just going to return null here if there's nothing available. I like addressables, and I don't care what you say. Addressables have been, I mean, now I'm offended. Not really. It's been one of the less irritating things for me to work with that Unity's introduced. It's not just like, yeah. I always feel that they fixed the issue where you can instantiate things instantly. I don't remember that problem. I always feel like whenever I go and use something built into Unity to do something that I've previously done without using an engine or Unity, that I'm like giving up something important. Oh, yeah. I know that problem that you're talking about. The addressables didn't really fix that. Yeah, I mean, but I guess you would load it before you were in a situation where you needed it on hand for the frame. You'd try to preload it, right? So you sound like you just are not a fan of like asynchronous loads. Maybe. So, I mean, just as an example, in Speech Manager, it's gonna bug you in some other way. Okay. It would take me so long to explain why I did it this way. Please don't. Please don't like go into every little thing. Okay, so there's a list of addressables that correspond to things that I want to have loaded, resources I want to have loaded, and they're kept in a scene object, that list of addressables. And then when the scene loads, same thing as level loads, it goes through and it says all those addressables, just go ahead, start loading them all, and then reference count them. And whenever one gets done, whenever the callback comes back, hook it up to the thing it's supposed to go to, and dereference the reference count. And then there's like a general purpose is loading thing, and you just say in like the code that is maybe waiting to do things with speech, you say is loading, is it true or false? And if it's true, you just prevent anything from using the stuff before it's done loading. So that's that, and the reasons for doing it exactly that way are a little complex, but it's basically a network of little assets and resources to put all of the animation stuff together. A little galaxy of them. So I just try to pull them all in at one time when the scene loads. But I also don't like having like a lot of state machines around, like is something loaded or not. That's why I just kind of put it all behind one thing. Where I keep the files for them, they're in a directory under assets. So I do have some files I've got under streaming assets, so I can use file system calls on them. Those ones I just use the file system calls, and that'll break on consoles, but I can rewrite them later. But it works on PC and Mac to just use the file system calls out of the streaming assets directory. That is the case from my understanding. But on PC and Mac, it works fine. So later on, I might have like a little bit of porting work. Okay. So then let's see. We got speech clip, and then we got speech. And speech is assuming that there's always a speech clip at this place down below, which is, I just kind of wonder. I'm going to look at every reference of speech clip in this file just to make sure I'm not missing something. Well, I've got a mixture. Some are under assets, some are under streaming assets. That might be interesting. I never looked at it. I've gotten a little bit grouchy about bringing any third-party thing in that seems like I don't need it. Yeah. I did use like a ancient version of Fmod long ago. I liked it fine. I used it back in late 90s with SDL. In a C++ project. I know that what they've got now is just like way beyond that. Okay, speech clip. So this thing is just, this code is all assuming that there's going to be a speech clip. How could this even work? How would this not just throw an exception every time? So when I say, it's going to bail if we're still loading stuff. Okay, then it's going to create that. Speech manager, it'll try to get the clip, but if there's no clip available, it should just return null. Oh, well, okay, so this code here is definitely assuming that there's going to be a speech clip. How did that ever work? That's the thing that's confusing me. It's not why does it fail now, it's like, how did it ever work? Because this definitely would be returning null at times. Maybe it's just, it's failing now because speech loader, the old thing, used to return a speech clip. Yeah, this code is bullshit. Okay, audio clip's not even used. Can I do something like that? I think that'd be assigning null. Yeah, okay. I forget, there's better syntax for this, so I think I'll just do this for the moment. Okay. Yeah, I want to see what better syntax you will suggest for me. Yeah, null coalescing. I just never used that. Okay. So you're saying if a speech clip is null, this will all evaluate to null, and then the null coalescing will return 0f. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, that should work. I'm going to keep looking for all references of speech clip, because I think there must be a lot of code that just assumes it's going to be available. Okay, let's just do the same thing there. Okay, so this should be okay now. So I had one file that I just got rid of and replaced it with another one that I rewrote, and its contract is a little bit different. So the calling code to that new module has to change a little bit. It'll no longer assume that we have a speech clip. So we'll say audio clip Oh yeah, here's a question for you, Davey Cicada. So there's this lifetime check here. If you compare like a game object, mono behavior based thing to null, it does a lifetime check. What I discovered is you can instead say default. It avoids the lifetime check. Because it doesn't use whatever the overridden assignment operator, whatever it is, whatever the comparison operator is. Do you think it introduces a problem worth worrying about to forego that lifetime check? What's the different method you use, Cicada? I'm just curious. Oh, it's what is the base class I'm talking about? Unity object maybe, but So this. Well, that's more readable. Here, let me just try that. If I say is null. Yeah, that's actually, I like that much better. Okay, just make sure I got that right though. Was that not equal? Okay. Oh, okay. Well, it was interesting because it did not, I see. So you just put that inside of a function, and it's like a is null function, and then you're good. Yeah. I don't know. I'll leave it as default for now. But it sounds like you're doing the same type of thing. You're just omitting the lifetime check, which seems like it might uncover a problem at maybe debug time that would be helpful to know about. Like if you have like a static reference to some object and then you unload the scene, you go to another scene, the static reference is pointing to some unloaded object, then the lifetime check I think would pop in. Yeah, maybe. All right. Speech clip. This is the same problem here. Okay, so then let's go do one more check through all this. Okay, could this fail? Yeah, it could. It could. No, wait. Okay, no, it would never get here because audio clip would return null for the speech clip, and therefore this code would never execute. All right. Let's check this one more time. I think I've seen stuff like that before, but I don't know what got me past it. Okay, it shouldn't get down here because this check here would exit it out. Okay. Okay, maybe that fixes this. We'll try this again.
Oh, little nothing, you have strayed. Oh, little nothing, you are afraid that all your pieces fell apart, they fell below. Oh, little nothing, where did they go? We see you here, your sad little face. Come to cry, come to beg for our grace. Can we put you back together? Yes, we can. Can we put you back together? Yes, we can. Can we put you back together? Yes, we can. Will we put you back together? That's the plan. Cause we got the knife. We'll fix you, we'll slice you, we'll bite you, we'll grind you.
Yeah, once I get all the animation events off, it'll move the mouth all the way through. Thank you.
Before you go someplace wild.
All right. So what I saw was the subtitles were appearing with the correct timing. Let's see. Did I see any bugs? I did see a bug. One is that there's supposed to be distinct lines. No, don't. Oh, well, I suppose that's okay. That's what these numbers are for, to make sure that man, I'm trying to remember how that song goes. I like that song and video quite a bit. Oh, the greatest song in the world. It was just the greatest song in the world. No, it was just a tribute to the greatest song in the world. So this line should look up a different resource than these other two, although it was doing lip movements for all three of them. So that makes me think that get clip ID function is like messing up the speech IDs that are passed to it. So let me check that. This might be a little bit short of a stream, much as I'm enjoying everyone's company. I'm just so fucking tired today. Okay, so I just want to see if these events, if they've all got unique speech IDs or not. The speech IDs are generated from the lyrics and a few other things. Never what? Do you see that? Do you see, Cicada, that number up at the top of the screen that says 310? That's the number of consecutive days that I've worked on this project. No days off. Okay, where'd speech ID go? Oh, it's right here. Okay. So Death Box the Ma, Oh Little Nothing. Okay, so they all got the same speech ID. That's an issue. And I can fix it. Yeah. I don't know. I got a system. That keeps me motivated. The other number I've got now, if you'll indulge me going to my wait screen, it's another number that goes, counts down. So 298 days to the release. 298. That gives me some energy back. I feel less tired because I think I just got to get that number to go to 0. And then I'll release this puppy. January 1st. I figure everybody's got to figure out their own motivational mechanics. There's this guy, Stephen Pressfield, that wrote a book called The War of Art, not to be confused with The Art of War. And he just writes out this complicated, not that complicated, but a pretty lengthy set of rules for himself to always be in a place where he has creative output. And I read that. I liked it. I knew his system wasn't going to be the same as my system. I just came up with my own system. And so... yeah, and some people do better with bursts of output followed by rest by other bursts, you know. Some people do better with that. Some people, they recharge and they gather up their resources and then they go. Some people like me, it's just more like you must do some work every day, and that's what works for me. Okay, so then let's go to add events, I think is what I want. No, it's before that. It's in the new parsing code. So speech timeline. It's going to irritate Cicada that I named this class timeline. The fear of death and the meaning of life. I like that. I like that quite a bit. Okay, where am I getting the speech ID from? Right here. So I'm passing in the line. There's probably a bug in this code. Yeah. There's a session that you really shouldn't watch, that you really should not watch, where I got upset with custom clips on timelines. Don't watch it. Please don't watch it. Oh, man. Where? Okay, so the story is Cicada spent a kind of an intense session with me teaching me how to make timelines with custom clips in them. So you can say on a timeline inside of Unity that you want a certain kind of event to be on the timeline for animation purposes, and it can have whatever parameters you want for it. So like say you have a character that like Pinocchio and you just want the length of his nose to go in or out, and there's like a nose length custom clip that you would make, and the value would be like a number between 0 and 1, and it would cause Pinocchio's nose to go in or out. And there's a wizard that you can use a asset called default playables that will create these things. After it creates them, then you can hook them up and you can get them to perform these transformations on your scene objects based on the events you put on the timeline. And you also get the built-in UI of the timeline widget, whatever you want to call it, inside of the Unity IDE. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I got a little bit irritated with like hooking up all the different references and stuff to it, and then I just said this would be a lot faster for me if I just did it a different way. And instead I use the this program called Adobe Audition, because my events are really based on the audio, and it's really easy for me to add markers inside of here and move around. I like it better than the Unity IDE, and then it outputs a CSV file that has the events in it, and I import them. I've got my own classes for iterating over events and stuff like that. So that's why I say, because Cicada is like, he's king of the timelines. Don't watch that stream. It'll infuriate you. It'll make you mad. Because you'll be like, all you had to do was just drag this one object over. You'd be done. He's a more reasonable guy than that. I don't want to make a caricature out of him. But yeah. If you got questions about timelines and events on them, Cicada. Alright, what is the deal? What is the deal? Huh, maybe. But it's too late, baby. It's too late. Okay, so then what was the thing? It's a speech file path. I'm going to be so ruthless with what I add to this game in the next 298 days. Okay, so I said, all I did is said, okay, it's going to be in this get first three words function. I think I just need to include the numbers, because I'm filtering out numbers right here. So if I just say lower, I had the same pattern of conversation with you, Dave, as I have with other people. It's like, why? It has to cross a certain threshold of value, and then I'm like, okay. It is racist. It is racist. You shouldn't be a hater. Or alphanumeric. I'll leave it as that. Yeah. I've heard at least a pretty compelling case from Cicada and I think one other person that some kind of visual editing to play with shaders, even if you intend to take it to code generated shaders, is useful. No, this is wrong. So when I get real close to the end, that's when I start making dumb mistakes. So this should be or. And I won't remember that and comes before or, so I'm just leaving these extra parentheses in. All right. if this works, that will be the end of the session. And I'm not going to play the song again. Oh, I made those edits while I'm playing. I hate it when I do that. Oh, stop. I cannot listen to this song again and again.
Oh, little nothing.
Stop it.
You have strayed. Oh, little.
Oh, God. Dave, you probably had this. You ever, because you write music too. You ever, like, just get so sick of listening to your own songs? Especially when you're working on them. Same. They just get stuck in my head so hard. I made a rule, like, just to limit that exposure. Yeah, that makes sense. And like right after I've made a song and I still kind of like it, I tell myself, don't listen to it unless you're actually ready to make changes to it while you're listening to it. Because it's like you only got so many listens before you just hate listening to the song. It's like wasting one if you just listen to it just to, I don't know, I'm saying you a lot. For me, it's like wasting listening of a song that I'm working on if I listen to it just to listen to it. Yeah. Okay, that I should do it there. And let's go back to the death box and set a breakpoint. Make sure that the events come in unique. Okay, speech events. Speech ID looks good. Let's look at the next one. Yeah, it's unique. Okay. Yeah, there's the third one. Okay, cool. Fix that bug. So yeah, I think that's it. I think that's it for this session. Maybe I'll just do. Oh, stop it! No. Okay. I'll just do a git commit to give me a nice sense of finality. Yeah, playtesting, same deal. You start kind of like maybe falling in love with your own shit too much, or just getting numb to its defects. You got to be all helpful about things I could do to improve my problems when I just want to complain. But yeah, mute button. Git commit a bomb. Okay, what's all this stuff? Connecting speech timeline to speech events. Alright guys, I'm gonna take off. Nice hanging out with you. I'm tired. I'm so tired. Stopping the stream. Stopping the stream. So yeah,